So what are we going to do here?
So here we have a flat panel. I will show you how to apply on a flat panel, obviously, in a quick way, rapid, with a good finishing. So the best way is to, when you have a flat installation, is to do a nice job, but quickly. So that's the point.
Time is money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So everything we do on the Rap Institute, and again, for those of you watching, the company I own is the Rap Institute. It's an online streaming video platform with lots of educational videos. And we always like to, anything we wrap, we always like to break it into 3 sections: prep, install, and post. So prep is really important, especially on the store. What type of prep did you do on this?
So for example, here we already have a vinyl apply, but if was not the case, you should apply a solvent primer on the perimeter, because this is a not absorbent surface.
Got it.
Obviously, before you need to clean it.
Clean it.
Yeah.
Okay. So cleaning, then primer.
Yeah. Sometimes here you have dust, but you can have also a bit of hair that came from the interior part. So I suggest you to really clean. Maybe sometime breathe and remove the dust, but also you can use a Scotch tape to cover and to don't have dust.
Nice. So you do recommend taking off any hardware that sticks out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So take off any, like in this case, just the electrical sockets, take that out super smooth. Make sure the dirt is covered, and we're good to go. So pretty straightforward. So the prep process for this would take about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I can say maybe also something less. So it's really quick.
Okay. Depends on how many coffees you had.
In the meantime, you can also, for example, if you have different paneling, you can do the preparation, cut all the layer, and step by step you proceed, so you save time.
Very cool.
So before we show that you can use the liner cut, you will cut just the stripes on the liner. So normally we say between 5 and 10 centimeters. So you remove the stripes. Sorry.
Yeah, so this is nice. So you basically want to cut this out to expose the adhesive by keeping the liner on. So basically this is the only part that's going to touch the surface, which really makes it much easier to install.
Yeah, absolutely. Also because in case you have a pattern like this, you need to check that the pattern is straight. So you need to have a chance to fix just a part, check, and after proceed with the application. So this is the best way.
Nice. And sometimes, you know, what people use, like if you're doing wallpaper or any type of like signage, sometimes you use masking tape on the side, but you don't want to use masking tape here because generally what you're wrapping, like let's say if you have wood on the side or something like that, or paint, that's a low surface energy and the masking tape won't stick. So by cutting this little liner out and having the adhesive touch the surface is much more secure.
Yeah. For example, we need to check now that the pattern is straight, looks straight. We can cover both sides. So this is really important because sometimes the people work really quick. They don't check that they can cover the side, so they proceed and they arrive there and it's short. So
yeah, keep in mind that some of the patterns for cover style are what's called directional and non-directional. So if it's a gloss finish, it's not directional, so you don't really have to line it up. This particular pattern is what's called directional because it has a kind of a grain in it that you really want to make sure it stays vertical. Some are horizontal, so really.
For example, also the glitter is like a solid color because you don't have a pattern, but it's unidirectional, so you cannot change it. Also, if you do it like that and you turn the other one, you see a difference. So always keep in mind that some reference you need to respect the side, the way.
Okay.
So in this case, we just fix the material exactly where we remove the liner.
Okay.
We remove the first part of the liner on the top, and we squeegee from the center to the edge.
I think in this case, you really want to pay attention to, you always want to work from the top down. And you always, basically, gravity is your buddy. So if you have gravity as your buddy and you work down, that's actually going to help keep the panel flat.
Absolutely. Yeah. So in this case, you just pop out the material, take the liner from the side on one and also on the other, and just bring it down. Normally, for me, the best technique is to remove just 15-20 centimeters because in this way, the liner will keep you the liner will be round and will keep you the material out from the surface, so will not stick. But if you remove more, it will start to stick. So never more than 15-20 centimeters, I suggest.
So in a way, gravity is your buddy, but also the backing paper is your buddy. So it's kind of hard to see from the straight on camo, but the backing paper is kind of curving, keeps the material off the surface by about 10-20 degrees. So that's a really combination of gravity, backing paper, and then it makes it for smooth.
And for me, the best way is, obviously, you should apply center to the edge, like for all kind of vinyl. But for me, the best is to find the synchronous between the two hands. So 10-15 centimeters center to the edge, 10-15 centimeters center to the edge.
Cool.
And in this way, the application will be really quick.
And you can see the nice, smooth, steady workflow once you get it going because it's essentially wrapping a flat surface. And if you have that good combination with the adhesive, not super techy, but techy enough, gravity, backing paper. It's actually quite fun.
Yeah. For example, before I explained that normally the people on the wrapping, they apply like that, so with the squeegee a bit curved. But in this way, in this case, the material it's really rigid, so you can also use the squeegee if you don't have tension, obviously. If the material is completely flat, you can use the squeegee flat, so it's more easy. And as you can see, if you find a good synchronism and application, it's really, really quick. So
yeah. So again, covering a lot of ground, if you get kind of squeegee more at a 90-degree angle, you can actually speed up your time by 20-30%, which is cool.
In this case, we have the power outlet. We have two little teeth, metal teeth that create a tension. So we need to use a release cut. So we will remove the tension and we can proceed without any wrinkle, without any tension on the material. So we highlight the metal teeth. We cut around them.
Because for those of you watching too right now, I mean, the cover style is a great material, but any type of raised object is going to make the material kind of bridge over it, and you don't want to kind of force it to the surface. You want to make what's called a relief cut, so it lays flatter, so that makes it nice and easy.
In fact, if I will remove now a bit of material, I will keep it a bit intense. You will see that there is no tension anymore, so the material is completely flat. And now we can proceed.
So make the relief cut first, then create the tension. And then you can see that he's squeegeeing away from the raised object, shifting that tension away. Smart.
This is really important. So it's the same here. I will squeegee a bit outside, and here I will just stop the wing.
Nice, very cool. Yeah, so again, you'll pick more tips and tricks on how to work around raised objects during the 2-day workshop, which we'll talk about at the end. But again, that's a very simple, basic way to get around it. Awesome.
Now you can proceed. Always center to the edge.
Very cool. And you can see that, you know, once you kind of work around that raised object, it's almost like money time. So you can really kind of turn and burn, which is cool.
Normally, when I arrive at the end, I just remove a bit more liner, but you need to keep the material distance. So if you use this technique, you can do it. But if you let it stick, you will find a lot of bubbles. So in this case, just keep it distance.
Yeah, the temptation for a lot of beginners, especially when you get down to the bottom of the panel, is when you have about this much space left, you just want to rip off the entire backing paper. But don't do that. Keep the backing paper on. And let's also keep in mind that if you take the backing paper off and throw it out in the workspace, it's super slippery. So if you slip on the backing paper, it's dangerous for, let's say, your clients or yourself. So you always want to keep it nice and rolled.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. That was great. Super smooth. But now here's the tricky part. Getting it on is actually pretty easy, but now cutting is tricky. So what are some tips?
So first of all, about the power outlet, normally, obviously, in this case, we remove the plastic cover. So always keep in mind that the plastic cover normally cover at least 0.51 centimeters. So also if the cut is not really precise, close to the metal plate, probably will be not visible.
Okay.
But there is a little trick. So for example, when you're doing the cut on the top, you highlight with the finger or the squeegee the metal plate. Nice. And when you start with the cut, you just put a bit of pressure down. So you are always safe that if something goes wrong, the cutter go down and not up.
Good. Okay, good tip. And in this case, you're using the 58-degree blade. We talked about different blades here, but you like that one because it's nice and sharp.
Yeah, are the blade that normally the people call 45 degrees, but honestly are 59, if I will remember. Here, for example, you put a bit of pressure on the right side, so you are always safe.
Nice.
The same will be on the opposite. So if you cut down, you will put a bit of pressure up. And when you cut on the right side, a bit of pressure on the left side.
Nice. So in many ways, once you get the right technique with cutting, is that whatever you're cutting on will kind of hold the blade and guide you, which is nice. So it's actually quite a comfortable thing once you get used to it.
And now you can squeegee around the metal plate.
Yeah, so kind of on the Rapid Suit, we have a phrase that's called run a finger, cut, run a finger. So basically, in a sense, you kind of run a finger, you cut, and then you came and squeegee it. So you always want to set the cut up. Then once you make the cut, you want to seal.
Yeah. So now I will proceed with the cut. In this case, we are doing the paneling, just the flat part without the side, okay. So we will cut 45. I will show you now the difference between the cut straight and 45, because in case you have a paneling like that, if you do a cut straight, like I will do now, the customer or the people can have the chance to remove the vinyl from the surface. So this is the incorrect cut for this kind of application. So.
Again, from the cameras right now, this cut looks great. You think not issues at all. But the problem is,
if you touch it, you can remove it.
So the cover style material, because this interior film has different textures, is super thick. Yeah. And the edge of most of what you're wrapping angles in slightly. So if you have a thick material, once you make the cut, and you cut the wrong angle, it kind of floats over that edge,
Yeah.
you can pick it off. Okay.
Yeah, so like that. And the difference, it's really short, so because the cut normally we call 45, so the blade stay a bit inclinate inside of the surface. And when you do the cut, I think will be visible in the camera.
Nice.
The difference is just 2 millimeters, so this 2 millimeter can create you a lot of problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's really important to always cut 45 in case of paneling, and always when you finish the job, check with your finger that you cannot remove the vinyl, because this normally it's the first things that the customer do when you finish the job. So.
Yeah, very interesting. So yeah, finishing on, especially on the interior films, is really important. Yeah. So getting that angled in cut, absolutely critical.
In this case, we stop the cut, but normally you don't need to stop the cut. So sure. On the other side, I will show you how to do it without stop the cut.
And what's nice about this type of material, the cover style material, because it's thick and a little stiff, when you do make the cut, it does hold the body really good, so you don't have to kind of use a free hand, just cuts flush on the edge, which actually makes it quite quick. Awesome stuff.
We will cut the top in the same way, and I will show you a little tricks for the other side.
Nice. So you can see very straightforward, getting the right finishing. So again, once you get the process, setting up the hinge, squeegeeing it on the main surface, working around any raised objects, and then for cutting, you're basically just going from one corner to the other. Very simple and straightforward. Awesome stuff.
So for example, here,
yeah.
The cut it's more than 2 meters. Okay. It's not possible to do it in one shot without going down from the stairs. So okay. I suggest you to do it like that. If you start from the top and you cut down, the stripes will fall down when you're doing the cut. And this can create you a problem because the cut will be not straight.
You don't want to just jump and just...
Normally, my advice is this one. Just leave 2 millimeters on top of here. Don't cut. Like this, the stripes will not fall down. Smart. So like this, you can do the cut. Normally, I keep my arms with the other arms because I feel more comfortable that the cut is straight. So nice. I proceed like that. And when you go down from the stair, don't remove the cutter from the surface because in other case you will change the angle of the cut. So great tip. Let's keep it here and proceed with the cut.
Because what you're going to often see in interior cuts when someone's cutting on the edge, just like he's saying, so you start at the top and, you know, having the holder at the top is really cool. So a lot of people, once they get off the ladder, they'll pull the knife out and they'll come back and do the cut. So right around here, it won't be a straight line. It'll kind of jag in or out, which obviously affects the quality. So you really want to make sure it stays straight top to bottom.
And at the end, you will cut the last 2 millimeters that you left.
Great tip. Awesome stuff.
The last part is the cut on the lower part. We will see after also on the door. It's really important because in case you have a moquette or a carpet that it's a bit thicker, in this case the panel will not move, but in case it was a door, if you open it and close 20 times and the carpet touch the vinyl, and the vinyl it's not cut 45, you can start to see the material detached from the surface. So it's always important to cut 45 the lower part.
Yeah, the temptation for a lot of times you're getting down on the ground and you kind of don't want to get that angle in. If you angle it too far out, that carpet builds up and it just looks kind of hairy. You don't want a hairy bottom door. Cool. Awesome.
So about flat installation, I think we explained everything.
Yeah.
We can proceed directly with the door. Now we will do a quick pause of 5 minutes and see you later for the door.
Sounds good. Awesome.
Thank you.